My girlfriend confided me that she is asexual. How do I proceed? And I kind of want my boyfriend to be my dad. Hey everyone, I'm Lina and welcome to Cute Girls Read Reddit. Leave a comment on your thoughts on this relationship and subscribe for daily Reddit stories. My girlfriend confided me that she is asexual. How do I proceed? So, I still love my girlfriend, but her recent revelation has made me a bit confused on if I should continue a romantic relationship with her. Me, 24-year-old male, and my girlfriend, 22-year-old female, met in college and have been dating happily for a little less than 3 years. We have sex semi-regularly, less than what I want, and it tends to be rather vanilla. I have a lot of fetishes, so I thought maybe if we shared fetishes, it would encourage more sex. The response was not either of the ones I was expecting, yes or no, but rather she confided in me that she was asexual. I asked if this was a new revelation about herself and she told me it was lifelong. I asked what about all the sex we have had up until this point, and she said it's physically enjoyable, kind of like a really good runner's high, but there is no lust component. I know she meant well, but this part kind of stung. We let the conversation go, and I have been thinking about it for a few weeks and decided that if she really doesn't have any sexual attraction to me and I still care about her, wouldn't it be better to just be good friends? So I told her this, and she broke down crying, explaining she still romantically loves me and that she never meant to mess up the relationship and she always thought we were going to get married one day. So I comforted her, and we kissed and cuddled on the couch for a while, and she promised to initiate sex with me as much as she could. And she definitely has offered, but now that I know she's asexual, I feel like she's forcing herself. And I love her and never want that to be the case, so I have been turning her down. Long story short, my girlfriend is asexual. She says she loves me and I believe her and I love her too. But if she feels no sexual attraction to me, wouldn't it make more sense to simply be good friends? Unlike the rest of the LGBT community, I don't quite understand what asexual means aside from Googling definitions and what she explained to me. But it doesn't seem to make sense to be romantic instead of platonic, and I don't know what to do. Let's see what the comments have to say. Ace woman in a relationship here. To start, I wouldn't blame you for deciding to break up with her, but there's also a ton of misconceptions about being ace. Asexuality is a wide spectrum ranging from demisexuality to sex repulsion, and the key in knowing if your relationship can survive is where on the spectrum she is. Your girlfriend describes sex as being physically pleasurable, which means she's likely sex indifferent or even sex positive, especially since you say she initiates. I think a lot of people struggle to separate love, attraction, and lust. Your girlfriend is asexual, not a romantic. She loves you just as much as you love her. Attraction and lust are slightly different for ace people though. Personally, I describe my view of attraction to people as being very similar to looking at a nice painting. You can think it's the most beautiful painting in the world, but you don't want to have sex with it. It's also understandable to want a partner who feels attraction towards you, and for this to be a deal breaker. Ace people do still have sex drives, so I fully believe her when she says she finds it pleasant to be intimate with you. This is also speculation on my part, but she's also been coming to you trying to initiate, which to me from your description shows she's likely more on the sex positive side. This also greatly affects my advice. If she took sex off the table, I'd say you two aren't compatible, but that doesn't seem to be the case. That being said, my boyfriend decided he was okay with this. It's okay to decide you aren't. Bro, I think there is no good answer, even though she said she'll try to initiate sex as much as she can. The problem is, are you okay with this? For me, desire makes 99% of sex. Since she's asexual, even if you do have sex with her sometimes, would you like it? Would you be comfortable knowing she's only doing this for you? Personally, I want to feel sexually wanted, and the idea of having sex with someone who truly doesn't want to is a turn off for me. I know she loves you and you love her, but keep in mind that for the rest of your life, it's going to be like this. I, 32-year-old female, kind of want my boyfriend, 35-year-old male, to be my dad. Just the title sounds creepy. Me and my boyfriend have been together for only 6 months, but have been friends for about a year longer than that. We only ever hung out with a friend group and did D&D together and stuff, and I fell in love with him without really hanging out at his house or interacting with his kids. I knew he had kids, 7-year-old male and 12-year-old female, and he'd talk about them, but I didn't meet them until I was already in love with him. Some background: I came from an abusive household. Both of my parents were emotionally and psychologically abusive, and my father was an angry drunk who threw things and punched walls. I've been in therapy for it throughout my life, when I can afford a therapist, yay USA, but I'm currently not. I've never really hung out with a healthy family with kids in it. I'm estranged from my extended family since cutting off my parents, and most of my friends either don't have kids or they're very small babies. The first time I went over to my boyfriend's house, his kid was acting up and I felt my whole body go tight waiting for him to get angry or aggressive with the child. And he didn't. He was kind and gentle, and I was absolutely I had never seen that. The more we spend time together and the more I see him around his two kids, I keep having these sort of earth-shaking revelations like, this is what parents were supposed to do. This is what it's supposed to look like. My therapists had explained verbally what it's supposed to be like, but that's very different from actually seeing a parent who genuinely loves his kids and treats them well. I love spending time over there because when he is kind and gentle to his kids, I passively absorb it. It's the only way I can think to explain it. I feel safe and warm and protected in an extremely primal way that I never felt in my own house or anything. To be clear, I know what daddy kink or DDLG is, and this isn't it. It's not sexual at all. I just see the way he takes care of his kids, and I wish I could just duck under the umbrella and be cared for like that too. One time, he was telling me about the custody battle he went through with his ex-wife, who didn't want him around the kids, and how hard he fought to stay in their life, and I just started crying. It was comforting, and I tried to explain that no adult in my life would have ever fought for me like that. I told him I wish I'd had a dad like you, and he said, I wish you did too. Which was very sweet, but I just worry this isn't something I'm supposed to want from my boyfriend, or feel for him. He knows about my parents, and we've talked about it a few times. He gets it, because he didn't have a great upbringing either. It's probably not okay to cross wires like that. I believe in communication in relationships, so I probably need to talk to him about it. But how do I tell him so it doesn't come off as creepy? There's so much positivity and warmth and unconditional love in his house, and I just want to wrap in it like a warm blanket. But it's not mine, it's his kids, and I probably shouldn't get the wires crossed like that. I don't know. If I hadn't had to change jobs during COVID, I'd talk to a therapist again, but financially that's just not an option right now. Long story short, raised in an abusive household, now see how my amazing boyfriend loves his kids, and I wish he'd take care of me or love me the same way since nobody ever did. Is that wrong? Do I talk to him about it? 40-year-old lady here. Lots of people who had shitty parents look at their partners and friends and think, I wish my parents were like that. Heck, people with good parents might still look at the great parent and think, dang, they pulled that off better than my dad. It's not that you want your partner or friend to parent you. It's seeing someone do good and wishing you had it back then with your parents. What you need to do is focus on what a good partner he is to you, and you need to start giving yourself the love you needed as a child. I don't think you want him to be your dad. You just want to be treated with the empathy and respect he treats his children. So tell him how you feel. Just don't say, I want you to be my dad. That will probably spook him. But beyond that, yeah, tell him you've never seen a parent treat their kids right like that, and it makes it feel amazing to be around him, and how much you want more of that. I'm sure he'll be flattered for basically being called an awesome dad, and then he'll feel able to become more emotionally close to you. I think it's really normal to want to have a protective partner who's looking out for you. We all have to be independent adults, but it's nice when you can just trust someone else to take charge. That's okay. Maybe not phrase it as dad, but what are those qualities that you appreciate in him? What would your advice be? Leave a comment down below and let us know what you think.